Hello everyone, I'm W4MP3 and this is Old Hacks episode 1. No, 2. Goal with this series is to remove old Super Mario World hacks from my memory so I don't think about those anymore, and to archive some old stuff. Today we go back in time to 2015. Well, that's not far back, but still 7 years ago. The hack for this episode is 2015 hack. The hack where I wanted to make a hack in the year 2015 and finish it in 2015 and didn't. Let's begin with the basic outline of 2015 hack. 2015's hack's goal was to create a Super Mario World hack in which you have to solve a mysterious case of murder, illegal mushroom trading and other very illegal stuff. Very fitting to the update date, by the way, I'm aware of that. I really wanted to do something weird and different from a regular Super Mario World hack. If you played Tracy on the NES, that's the direction I wanted to go, but without the annoying parts and with Super Mario World in mind. Let's take a quick look at Tracy first, so you better understand what my goal was. Tracy is a video game released in 1990 by Real Time Associates and published by Bandai. Also, Disney owns Tracy, so this is a licensed game and usually those are bad. This is not an exception to that rule in my opinion. Opinions aside, the general gameplay loop is as follows. Start the game, look at the mugshots and note where each of the suspects are. Drive to the place where you can find a suspect by car. Die. Drive to the place where you can find a suspect by car and not die. Interrogate them and write down what they say. Die because you drove down the wrong road and got sniped from the roof and have to do it all over again because one death is game over, no lives. Collect the clues so you know who the perpetrator is. Go to that person and arrest them. Get yelled at because you didn't get all 5 clues. Get all clues, go to the person and arrest them. Here's the notepad I've written to get to the end of the first level. It took me 75 minutes, most of the time figuring out where to go. So, not a very complicated game, but very much trial and error, which really sucks. I actually did want to cheat if I could not get the first suspect arrested and even prepared the funny AVGN clip, but apparently I'm a real gamer. What was the video about? Ah, right. 2015 hack. Apparently this hack did have a name. Mario is missing an original temp name. It seems I wanted to tell a small story of Mario strolling in Mushroom City on the title screen. Not much here, you basically saw everything in the intro of the video already. Onto the Overworld, which is very rough and very far from finished, but has really good music, I promise. The Overworld is more or less open. I made an American-style city including the grid structure because that's much easier to do on a tile-based map. You can drive around, but apparently I only made 2 accessible locations. Mario's home and Mushroom Tower. Off-screen is another location for a ship called SS Unsinkable, which was supposed to sink. Very original, I know. That's pretty much it with the overworld. Here's, just in case you're curious, a screenshot of both the main overworld and the subworlds. Also, I found an unused tree graphic. Yay! I'm sure it was not made for this hack. Also, there's the animated flag graphic from another hack I didn't release, and that's actually a spoiler for another episode. By the way, we are in 2015, there was no easy and flexible way to put additional animations on the overworld. Well, until version 2.40 of Lunar Magic, which was released in September 24th of 2015. Before that there were only 2 ways I know of getting animated tiles working. Use the small space at GFX 14 or use a patch that allows you to use a bit more tiles at the cost of 1 graphics slot with fixed graphics. At the time I was familiar with both methods because I have written a tutorial for that almost 10 years ago and decided to use GFX 14 for the time being. I think I was just too lazy to use the patch. Okay, that's actually it. Let's look inside the levels. That should be actually called locations. That's better. Let's talk about the 2 locations. Yes, I only managed to make 2 locations. Even better, none of them are finished. Our first location is Mario's home. It's basically Yoshi's house, except you have a notebook there with all the collected clues, and maybe you're getting hints from there. I don't remember wanting to use that place for anything else. The next one is Mushroom Tower. That one is not even remotely finished. It does have an elevator and an NPC, but that's it. My goal with that location was to put many NPCs there and some main characters like Luigi and Toadette. Here you would talk to the mayor of the town, whoever that would be. They would send you to your first location in the suburbs of Mushroom Town. Planned were some optional missions like bringing Luigi a burger or collecting some oddball number of coins. And with that we have the current state of the hack. I do have an older version dated almost exactly 1 year earlier than the current version. It does work, so are there differences? Nothing major, just broken graphics and some texts in the text boxes were different. That's actually it. So now why did I stop working on this? Well, this is a good question and I have a really good answer for that. I was not able to pull that off in 2015. My English sucked back then and still is not the yellow of the egg. Also my coding skills were bad and I can't draw stuff, look at this Mario mugshot or the Overworld graphics. Could I pull it off now? I'm not sure about that. Alone? No. With somebody who writes the story and makes the levels? Maybe. Do I even want to continue it? Well, not really, it depends. For now I have to deal with the project first. Until that is not finished, I will not start new hacks or revive old ones. Shut up, K4120 doesn't count. No, the censored one does also not count. Where the frick did you even get this one? Stop snooping in my stuff editing W from P3. No, don't show the third one either. That's it. No more coated nuts for you until you finish one of these hacks. Well, as I said earlier, not much was done and we're already at the end of the episode. I don't think it's worth your time, but if you want to experience the 2 levels, locations and the overworld, you can download the hack. It's in the description. You should waste your time on something more productive. I've basically shown you everything there is. Anyways, thank you for watching. Twitter and Twitch are in the description if you want to follow me on other social media. Also consider leaving a comment, because I don't know what I should focus on more in the series. Also consider leaving a comment, because I don't know what I'm doing and you certainly have a better idea on what you want to see than me. Next episode of Old Hacks is about either a finished hack, yes, such a thing does exist, or something weird I made, I haven't decided yet. But for now, thank you for watching. See you in the next video next week, which is surprise surprise a real end of the year update video that nobody watches. Bye!